I'm Michelle from the RRR team, and I'm here to take you on a tour of the RRR facilities. First of all, our number one tip is to prop the gate open. If you've got lots of stuff to deposit, stick that through there. Here's a map showing what goes where on the RRR. Yep. These are the commingled recycling bins. The key thing to note is that plastics 1, 2 and 5. It's important that your recycling is kept loose, not put in a bag. So just tip it out and then put the bag in. The three top mistakes typically made in the recycling bins are not flattening boxes, soft plastics, they go in landfill, and putting 10-cent containers in the yellow bin. So anything that's got the 10-cent logo on goes in the green bins outside the workshop. Some of the things that people struggle with include things like this soft plastic, which is lined with aluminium. They think it's aluminium foil and it can go in the yellow bins, but it really has to go in landfill until there's a soft plastics recycling program again. Another thing that people struggle with are the black meat trays. They need to go in landfill. If you have another colour, check to see whether it's tearable. If it is, it's polystyrene. It also needs to go in landfill. The other solid ones that don't tear can go in the recycling bin. Broken household crockery needs to go in the landfill, not in the recycling bin, because it melts at a different temperature than the glass that's recycled. Things that are made out of mixed materials, like this post-it bag, which is plastic lined paper, unless the material can be separated, it needs to go in landfill as well. Things that are rigid plastics but don't have the number on it to indicate the type of plastic need to go in landfill. It's important to check the number that's written on the bottom of plastic containers. This one is a number 7, which is cornstarch. It can't go in the recycling. It unfortunately needs to go in landfill because it can't be composted at home because we don't get high enough temperatures. Takeaway coffee cups are another one that people find tricky. They are plastic lined, so they can't go in the recycling bins. They need to go in landfill, along with the lid, which is typically polystyrene. For rigid plastic pot plant holders, the black ones can't go in the recycling bin, so try and reuse those ones. The coloured ones can. So check that they've got the number 1, 2 or 5 on the bottom. Typically it's 5, and they can go in the recycling bin. People do ask if the recycling is actually recycled. We've checked with the council and it costs more to take it to landfill than it does to recycle. So yes, you can feel confident that your recycling is going to be recycled. It's important to know that anything smaller than a credit card won't get recycled or fall between the cracks in the conveyor belt at the recycling centre. So try and group like with like things. So a steel bottle cap can go into a steel can, and then you can fill it up with screws and nuts and anything other steel bits you don't want. Close the top, squash it up, and then put the whole thing in the yellow bin. For aluminium, you can do the same thing in an aluminium can. If you're not sure which metal it's made from, just use a small magnet to determine if it's steel or aluminium. Here we have a whole range of waste streams that you can separate your waste into, and a RRR buddy who is responsible for at least one waste stream will take them to where they need to go. This is our metals recycling area. The metals need to be at least 90% metals, because if it takes too long for them to separate the metals from the other materials, it'll go to landfill because it's not worth their while. Beauty product packaging can go in here. It gets taken to Mecca Cosmetica or Robina, so if you're going that way, please feel free to take a bag. All the details about what's accepted and what's not are listed here. In the e-waste section, you can put TVs, computers and anything that connects to computers in these two bins, preferably large ones in here and small items in here. And then anything else that plugs in or has batteries can go in this e-waste container. It gets taken to substation 33 on the northern Gold Coast. The polystyrene gets taken for recycling in Brisbane. It's important to realise that it has to be clean and white only, none of the plastic thin sheets, and it needs to be broken up and put through the hole. A common mistake is putting in foam peanuts from packaging. That's actually made out of cornstarch. You can throw it in your garden, put the hose on it, and it will dissolve. The cardboard bin is only for large brown cardboard that's at least as big as the sign. This is for use by villagers to go under mulch to keep weeds down. So don't put small boxes or cartons in here. With landfill, we encourage you to go naked and not use bin liners. We estimate that we send about 10,000 bin liners to landfill each year, so we'd like to eliminate that. As soon as you take your food waste out of your landfill bin, your bin will be relatively dry. There's a bin washing station outside. There's no reason to use a bin liner. Even the compostable ones are pointless because the landfill gets covered with a layer of clay and all the air is kept out of it, so they just sit there and generate methane. They don't biodegrade. We've provided a bin washing station, so if your bin is a bit dirty, you can wash it out here and before you take it home. Instead of buying plastic covered herbs at the supermarket, we encourage you to come to the herb garden and take what you want for your evening meal. Here in the shade house, you can leave your seedlings or your houseplants while you go away on holidays, and they'll be automatically watered for you. Just remember to label your plants so that they're there when you come back. Any beverage container that has the 10-cent logo on it can go in here, including wine bottles and spirit bottles. Wine bottles and spirit bottles don't have to have the 10-cent logo until 2027. You should remove the lid, put the bottle in here, and the lid goes in the bin yard in the special containers there for them. Here in the RRR workshop, you can use any of the tools in here. You can even borrow some to take home for projects. You'll need to download the Asset Tiger app on your phone and get a login from the RRR team. To use the power tools, you'll need to do an induction. There's numbers listed on the door to book that, and once you've done that induction, you'll be given the code for the door and you'll be allowed to use the power tools. As well as hand tools and power tools that you can borrow to take home or use here, we have things like ladders and camping equipment and party gear and dress-ups. So instead of buying something, check on the Asset Tiger to see what's available, and it might very well be available for you to borrow at no cost. If you are going to borrow a tool, you need to make sure that you check it out on the sheet that's just on the desk inside the door. Here in the mailroom, we've got a whole range of things that are available for reuse. So we've got the electrical cables and computer cables. So if you're looking for your iPhone charger or a laptop charger, you may very well be able to find it here. If you've got one that you're not using at home anymore, you can make it available to others by leaving it here. If you need a container for a lid that you've lost, you can check out the lids available here, or you can leave lids here if you've got spare ones. You can also find packaging for mailing things. There's stationery you can take or leave. We also have containers for corks, small useful things that might come in handy to someone. We have shopping bags, we have egg cartons, we have toys, and we have jars for people who perhaps want to do preserves at home. They're all available to take or leave. If you want to give a gift of food to someone who perhaps has had a new baby or is ill, we have these casserole dishes and containers up here that you can take, fill with food, deliver to the person, and then they can just drop it off back here rather than them having to remember who gave them which container. We do have a list of RRR buddies who are responsible for particular waste streams. If you want to help drop off something, we've often got vacancies, and you can the contact details are on this sheet just inside the mailroom door. The gifting table is for items that you no longer want that are still usable. You can take or leave things from here. Please don't dump stuff that no one's going to want. It just creates work for the RRR team to have to come and sort.